Hey, friends of Two Crones with a Mic. We're back with another episode, and it's going to be a good one too, like every episode, really. Um,
We're
yeah,
not
so we're
biased at all. We are not
not
biased
at
at
all.
all.
No, no, we're just honest.
That's all right.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about actually the last episode we had, the human design, where Ursula was with us and talked about it. So we're just going to like dissect it a little bit, what resonates with us personally, and the way we kind of incorporated that into our lives. But before we do that, we'll have the beautiful Indira and doing our meditation.
I keep telling her that I am not. I feel like I'm going through puberty. Like nothing looks right. My hair doesn't look right. My makeup doesn't look right. I look tired. I am tired. I'm moving. So
Yeah, but we all, yeah,
yeah. So I'm not
we'll
feeling that,
get you
but I
moved in.
appreciate it. Yeah, but I appreciate it. If it is safe and comfortable for you to do so, please take this moment to just stop and get centered, close or lower your eyes. And let's move from our mind space, from our overthinking, from our planning into the heart space. And take those nice, deep, cleansing breaths. We remember to always return to the breath. The breath is our proof of life. And the breath, as we deepen and slow it, the breath is what tells our body that we are safe, that everything is okay. And so, as we move into this debrief of human design and we reflect on ourselves and we look at ourselves, we know it is okay. It's okay to be who we have been. It's okay to be who we are now. And it is okay to be who we are going to be in the next breath and in the next day and the next week. We always return to the breath. We always return to our heart center. For that is where we know the spirit of creation lives. One more nice deep inhale, hold it at the top. And release. And now we'll move into this precious present in our heart centers and grounded. So it is.
Thank you. So it is. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit about, I mean, you and I were both manifesting generators, so we kind of
Yes.
established that one already. However, even though within that category, there's still like different types, I guess you could say. So what Ursula told me is that I am in a sacral authority, and you are like an emotional authority, or however.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so even though you're the same umbrella category, you still have different types and different ways you operate in life, I guess. So,
Yes. So what did that mean to you when she told you that you were sacral authority? Doesn't that mean that you immediately know in your gut that it's
yeah,
the right thing to do
yeah,
or the wrong
immediately
thing
when
to do?
exactly. Now, it doesn't always work out in a good way because I know when something is really I just know, okay? If I have an
Mhm.
idea and it sparks and I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's run with it and let's implement it. Let's do it. Now, my programming in life, and I think we've all been there, the same thing is like when something isn't right, I know it's wrong. But being programmed or conditioned that you have to be nice and you have to be agreeable, you do not always live that side the way you should. Okay. And so that really, every time I go against my gut feeling or have been going against my gut feeling, it blew up in my face. Okay. So that's
Yeah.
shows me that if it's not meant to be, I shouldn't go there, and I know it's wrong, but let's just leave it. And I haven't always done that.
Mhm.
And so learning how you work or how you function as a human being and how you are designed, it's really good for you to know who you are, but you also have to live by it and
Mhm.
take it seriously.
Mhm.
And I know you sent me this little thing about the manifesting generator signs you are deconditioning.
Mhm.
And what really hits home is you connect with your gut response as your decision maker. I've always done that. I just didn't take the red flags, because I always wanted to be nice. I wanted to be accommodating. I didn't want to say no to people. But the other thing says you say no when it is a no. And you know what? I just recently allowed myself to do that.
Mhm.
Even if it's a no, you don't have to feel guilty about saying no. It's always the delivery. If
Yeah.
there's something that you can't do or don't want to do, it's okay, you
Yeah.
know? But just say things like, you know what, I'm not available for this right now. I don't have the energy for this.
Mhm.
So you can say no in different ways, but if it's a no in your gut, it has to be a no,
Yeah.
And so it's really hitting home for me to really just say no and not feeling guilty about hurting people,
Yeah.
you know?
My
So yeah.
therapist said to me one time, if my no doesn't matter, then what's the point of my yes?
That's a good one.
And I just that stayed with me. I mean, it's still with me that
Yeah,
if I can't say no, then my yes means nothing.
exactly.
And so I like that. I I've been saying no for a while,
Hmm.
but um so that thing, the signs that we are deconditioning and
Hmm.
manifesting generate. So Ursula sent these to me, and it's got
Hmm.
all of them on there. Um, and I am so the one thing that was up with me is the emotional authority, I think is what she called
Hmm.
it. That's
Yeah.
and so
Hmm.
I need 24 hours to think about something. And that so you were talking about so like I'm in my mind I've got like four
Hmm.
different stories coming up and I'm trying
Yeah.
to like get my mind to stop, like
It's
that's why
okay.
you guys see me pause for a minute because I'm like, okay, not that one too. um but I'm gonna go to some really hard things that were happening recently. I because I do need time. I
Hmm.
need about 24 hours to decide, is this the right thing for me? And recently I was wanting to get a new car, and I was really, like that's really what I want. I had the emotions with it, and I had gone to my credit union, and my debt to income ratio is just a little too high, and so they're like, we just can't do it, and they said, but maybe some other bank would. And so instead of sitting with it for 24 hours, I immediately called and started the process of trying to get a new car, and new to me, not like brand new off the showroom or
Yeah.
anything, but just new to me. And it turned into one of the most disappointing experiences because my debt my debt to income ratio is it's just a little too big right now.
Hmm.
And so at first the guy was like, "Yeah, we absolutely can do it." And then he's like, "Well, we can do it, but you have to have this much down, and I don't have that much." And then, and then I ended up having like a whole emotional meltdown because I didn't wait my
Hmm.
24
Hmm.
hours to
Hmm.
go, this is what I need to do. So when Ursula was telling me that, like, you really need, Indira, you need that 24 hours, I really took that to heart. So we recorded on a Saturday. On the following Monday, I talked to one of my bosses, and she, I said, "What do you want me to do about this and this?" Because I've recently changed positions, but I've still been holding on to a couple of the positions, waiting to find out where she wanted them to go. And so she said, "Oh, well, that one that you're talking about, you can keep it if you want to. It's only once a year." And she's right, it is. It's only once a year, but it's a lot of work once a year. It takes, at least a day to plan it, and then it takes another day to execute it. And with all of the work that I do, those 2 days make all the difference in the world, especially in that month, because that's the busiest month for me in my program.
Correct. Yeah.
And but when she said, if you want to keep it, you can keep it. And at first I was like, well, nobody else likes working with this group. No one else likes it. They're kind of difficult, but I don't mind them because I really love their program. And I still said, let me think about it, please. Give me
Mm-hmm.
24 hours. And then I explained to her that I had the human design thing, and that she said that I make my decisions based on emotions. And my boss was so great about it. She was like, I like that. I like that you're going to take 24 hours to think about it. Go do that. And so I did. And I was kind of in my head about, oh, I could still do it. And then about 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with just a sinking feeling in my gut. And it's too stressful. Give it to
Mm-hmm.
someone else. You've got enough on your plate. So the next day I went in and I said, I'm going to give it back. It's not a project I want to work on. And it was hard, but I let my no be my no for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And this goes to that second, to the next line on that
Mm-hmm.
manifesting
Mm-hmm.
generator deconditioning thing. You give yourself permission to shift and change when when your energy stagnates, no longer shaming or resisting your own evolution. And I was like, I'm absolutely doing that. And I'm giving myself permission to shift and change in a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I'm very, very interested in. And I'm still saying, my energy isn't really there right now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's okay. That's okay. I'm not ready to do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one on the manifesting generator, signs that you are deconditioning. You release the need to have a concrete plan and have found acceptance in the process of moving step by step into the unknown, because that's where all your greatest creations are born. And as you know,
Mm-hmm.
my living situation has been changed. We've known it's going to change for a year, for a whole year. We've known it's going to change for a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still not ready when the last 2 months came.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where I was going to live. Again, with that whole like debt to income ratio, not being able to really be able to live on my own. So I needed to find basically a roommate situation. And and I did, but it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted something on my own, by myself. I haven't lived by myself in 29 years. And I'm like,
Mm.
I just want to live by myself for a while, or maybe 23 years. And but I found a situation where she already has a home. There's a big room I can move into. I can create my curriculum. She's got a whole life. She's got a whole life that has nothing to do with me. She doesn't want like a codependent roommate situation. She just somebody to come and keep her company from time to time, somebody that can run and grab something when she's sick, or take care of her cat when she's traveling. She's got a whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And that just seemed to work. And I still don't know what I'm doing, how it's going to work out. And I trust that that's where my greatest creation is going to come from. And I don't have a plan at all. The only plan is people are showing up in my house next Friday to move my stuff from one place to another.
Well.
That's it. That's the plan. And then we'll just kind of figure it out from there. So that manifesting generator, we often do well, just no, I think it's our society. We
Yes.
often just want to plan things out. I don't have a
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
I don't have
People
a plan
people
for the rest
ask
of that.
you, what's your plan B? You're like, I don't know. I don't even have a plan A. I mean, it's
I don't
just,
right now.
you
I
know,
don't. Yeah.
it's just,
So,
it's again a societal thing where you just always have to respond to society in
mhm.
a way that makes them happy, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
they're going to have to be happy being uncomfortable with us not knowing.
Yeah.
I don't know. And here's what's really interesting. I am exhausted. Like I am
Mm-hmm.
exhausted. I'm getting up and I'm moving stuff every day. I'm packing stuff every day. I'm throwing stuff away every day. I'm recycling stuff. Every day. But you can even tell my energy is just really low. I am exhausted. And it's not because of all of the work that I'm doing. I work way harder in a normal day. I think it's because I don't have a plan. And I am okay with that plan. And there's a part of me that's healing that needs a lot of rest. I need a lot of rest. And I recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sleep a lot right now. Even in the midst of moving, I'm sleeping a lot right now.
Well,
And
if
I'm
your
just,
body needs that, then you need to give it to it. It's
yeah.
okay.
So I am. I am. And I'm sleeping
Yeah.
heavy and hard and for
Oh, yeah.
hours. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. That
So,
means your body needs it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes. But once again, it's just like, your programming. I
Mhm.
wished so many times that I would have found all these things that we're talking about 10, 15 years ago. I
Mhm.
mean, I mean, I know I can't go back, but just imagining how different my life would have been is crazy. It is so crazy because I
I
went
know.
against my gut feeling so many times. And
Mhm.
for me, it was relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you call it wound or trauma or something that I need to learn in a lifetime is always relationships. And
Mhm.
so, had I listened to my gut feeling years and years and years ago, had I known all of this, it's like, whoa, I mean, man, I mean, I would have saved myself so much pain. But then
Same.
again, like,
Yeah.
oh my God. I mean, I don't know.
If I
I
had
guess,
healed,
yeah,
if I'd healed those wounds earlier and I could have said, maybe this marriage isn't a good idea.
yeah,
If I'd waited 24 hours to think about it,
yes,
I could have said, maybe this marriage is not a good idea. Or maybe it
yeah,
is. Maybe it still would have been, and like you said, having these tools back then
mm-hmm,
to be able to say, I need 24 hours to think about something, and that's okay. Or I need to just trust whatever the divine's plan is, whatever the universe's plan
mm-hmm,
is, and that's okay.
yeah,
That's okay. And letting my
yeah,
no be a no, not being talked back into something that I don't want to do.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to not try it because you don't really know. And it's kind of like this subtle way of being talked into something and you're like, well, maybe they're right, and maybe they know better than I do. And I know it has something to do with like your self, not maybe self-esteem, I don't know, but your your feeling of self-worth or
Mhm,
your confidence,
mhm,
right? Like,
mhm.
maybe they are more experienced and maybe they know what they're talking about. But you know what? The people that I encountered back then when I went through all my terrible, terrible relationships, it's like, no, they didn't know what they were talking about. They
Right,
they really
exactly.
did not know. Okay. And
Yep.
I don't know. But then I'm thinking maybe that's just what my soul decided to go through in
Mhm.
order for me to learn and to arrive where I'm at right now. Because right
Yeah.
now I'm happy and I'm
Mhm,
content. I still have my days, of course, like we
mhm,
all do.
mhm.
Um, but I'm really good. I'm really good right now. So
That's good.
yeah.
That's good. I'm getting there. Getting
You
there.
are. You are. You will. I
Yeah.
promise you.
So, yeah, was there anything else that she had said that really, really stayed with you, besides the deconditioning part, like who you are, how you're wired?
I just remember really laughing hysterically the way she compared us, and what you brought into my life. And I'm like, somebody finally feels my pain. So I don't mean this in a negative way, India. I love you,
I know that. I know
you
that.
know, but
We've
it's
talked
like,
about this.
yeah, my life I mean, in a good way. I mean, I'm happy, I'm content. And it was
Yeah.
in a good way because I was
Yeah.
I don't have a good word for it, but I was so set in my ways
Mhm.
that I was not leaving a door open for like new experiences to come in either.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and I feel like you coming into my life a lot more or heavy, or like you said, like
Mhm.
the wrecking ball, it's
I
kind of, it
came in
wakes me
like
up to other stuff too. Yes, exactly.
it did.
So it
Yeah.
expanded my spiritual growth as well,
Mhm. Yeah.
so.
It helped me, that part, because I do know that the moment I entered your life, like, hardcore, that
Mm-hmm.
your whole life got shaken up. Like, I still laugh hysterically about you laying on the floor with crystals all over you, listening to meditation. Like that just makes me laugh. Meditation music, like I have to recover. And from what you didn't know, and
I
I
had
come
no
in with,
clue.
yeah, and I come in with all my emotions, that that just made me laugh. But it helped me also understand that that's what I do. I
Hmm.
I have a big influence on a room based on my emotions, my excitement, kind of what's going on.
Hmm.
And that was really key to hear. There was something else that just came to my mind that she had said. I don't remember what it was. It just, um, oh, vulnerable conversations.
Oh, yeah.
That one really struck me interesting too, based on something somewhere in my chart. That I But she's right. I am very comfortable taking deep dives in conversations the moment I meet you. And
Hmm.
nothing tends to be really off limits for me. So I just go right into a vulnerable conversation. Like,
You
here we
do.
go.
You
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
That's true.
I will share and I will ask,
Yep.
like, super vulnerable stuff. And I remember way back, oh my gosh, this would have been 2000, 2000, maybe 2000, 2001, something like that, 2002, I can't remember. Um, but I remember getting a new team. I moved middle schools, and I was meeting my team for the first time, and we were meeting at the English teacher's house. And because taught middle school, so you had English, math, social studies, and science,
Hmm.
and a reading teacher. And we were meeting there, and I loved the house, and I'd never been in that neighborhood before. And I didn't even think twice. I was like, how much did you pay for this house? Apparently, that's a vulnerable question.
It is.
Yeah. And it took her a year. She was like, I'm not going to tell you that. I don't even know who you are.
Hmm.
And about a year later, she was like, I paid this for the house. And I
Hmm.
was like, it took you a year to tell me? And she was like, well, you hit me with those really personal questions. And I
Hmm.
do. And I don't know why, but it's how I'm wired. So if you want to have really
Yeah.
vulnerable conversations, have dinner with me.
Yeah. Call Indira.
Exactly. Exactly. But that
Yeah.
hit my truth because I do that, and um I want to talk about how you're changing. Like, what are you recognizing? Like, are you bleeding your pain all over people? Are you
Hmm.
recognizing that you do that? How are you healing your wounds? I assume everyone in this country is wounded.
Hmm.
And I assume that everyone in this country wants to heal their wounds because I
Hmm.
assume that everyone doesn't want to bleed their pain all over other people.
Hmm.
That's my assumption. And it's an erroneous assumption, and I understand that. And I want to talk about it. I want to talk about what your wounds are and are you healing them and how's that going for you? And yeah,
Yep. Yep.
I love that.
Yeah. You always come across as very caring and nurturing. So yeah.
And
I
really, really like go to the hard stuff.
yeah. You do. You do. But
Well, it was
I think that's a
mhm.
good thing.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
and the other thing is I tend to kind of laugh about it too. Like I tend to take it. How do I say this? So a little bit ago, I was leaving a Marco Polo for one of my friends, and as you know, Bettina, my mentor passed away a week ago
Hmm.
today,
Hmm.
and you and I are going to the services tomorrow
Hmm.
to honor her life. And this was my mentor who taught me angelic communication, and she was an amazing human being who did a lot of good in this world. And losing her has been very difficult for me. And I haven't quite been able to really grieve it because I'm also moving. And my
Yeah.
husband's prison has been in lockdown for 2.5 weeks. So I've gotten 15 minutes a day with him, not necessarily every single day, whereas before I had quite a bit of more time to talk to him. So there's just been a lot of changes, and losing Steph has been really, really, really tough, and I haven't quite processed all of it yet, and what that means for me, and my relationship with her because now she's on the other side. So
Mm-hmm.
are we going to work on mediumship? But I'm leaving this message for my friend Crystal about, um, Steph and all of that, and an experience that I'd had the day that she passed. And the car pulls up next to me and it has its windows down and it's listening to Elvis Hunka Hunka Burnin' Love. So I'm having this really deep conversation, one-way conversation. And then I pause and I'm like, hunka hunka burning love. Oh, we got a hunka hunka, and I start just
Yeah.
singing randomly. And I'm like, is there something wrong with me that I'm being very serious about something? And then all of a sudden I can just find light in the moment, and have a chuckle and then come back to the seriousness. Do I have ADHD or is that normal? Is that part of my human design? Is that vulnerability? Because maybe vulnerable conversations I don't find scary,
Mm-hmm.
or I mean, I think they're serious, but not like I can't break out into Elvis serious. I don't
That's a
know.
good one.
I don't know, but it's part of that human design
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I look
Cool.
forward to getting a reading with her. What else you got?
That's really all I got for today.
Me too. It's a short one
Good.
today.
It's a short one. We had a longer one last time, so we'll just make it short this time.
Yep. Just stay tuned for the Friday message.
Yes. See you soon. Bye bye.
Yep. Bye, guys.